Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports here, myself Charlie. And wonderful video starts, please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. And indeed, welcome back. I have been away, obviously I've not uploaded for a little while now. I was away on holiday. I do apologise, obviously I billed myself as a sports news bandwagon, but not been very up to date with news and not been reacting to much. But I will be back on it, and there'll be a few clips as well from Dublin where I've been, or one of the places where I've been to, and from some of the events that I experienced. And one of the events that I did experience was the Irish Grand National on Monday at Ferry House, which was a terrific day out, won by Soldier in Milan. An absolutely brilliant day out, to be honest with you. I think the Irish just do it better, unpopular opinion. I don't really know how. Live music, maybe. Everything was so accessible. Just a really good day out with really good people. And it is England's turn, though, of course, for the Grand National this Saturday. So I thought I'd do a runner-by-runner guide. Every man and his dog has a tip for the big race. It is the race. They say the Melbourne Cup's the race that stops the nation. I think the Grand National is the race that stops Britain still, because everyone still has an opinion on it and everyone still wants to talk about it. Everyone wants to know who everyone else is backing and everything else. So I thought I'd give a bit of a runner-by-runner guide, just talk about a horse. I was lucky enough to go to the Grand National last year when I watched it when Nick Rocket won. Of course, he's not even running this year, which is a shame. There was a real spate of late pullouts. You know, it's been hard to keep track of which reserves are going to come in and which reserves aren't going to come in. You know, Spillen's Tower was a lot of people's fancy. We've seen today he was pulled up in the bowl. He didn't run. I thought that was interesting, to be honest, because he skipped Cheltenham, I thought, with this race in mind, the Grand National, but clearly not. So we move on. Let's go through it runner by runner. Please bear with me. We'll be going through these and I will give you my final predictions at the end. Number one is, of course, Iron Maximus, the winner back in 2024, who as well ran impeccably last year, finishing second. I just think with top weight, it's a big ask for him. He's still performing fantastically well, let's be honest. He's ran well in some grade ones this year in Ireland, but I just think it's a big ask, a horse to carry top weight round. He is a class act, I think, Iron Maximus, but I just think it's a real toughie for him. And it wouldn't surprise me if he got round. It wouldn't surprise me if he placed, to be honest with you, in 5th or 6th. But I just think it's tough for him to win off top weight. 2 is Banbridge. I was a little bit eyebrows raised when Banbridge got the entry into this and he's running in this. I just don't see him staying. He's a class horse, there's no doubt about it, but I just don't see him staying 4 mile 2, considering that they've often toyed with the idea of him being a Ryanair horse and potentially not a Gold Cup horse. I don't see how he's going to win a Grand National, to be honest with you. Number 3, Grange Clare West. A lot of people are fancying Grange Clare West. There was a lot of obviously to and fro. Would Paul Towner go with him or Iron Maximus? He's gone with Maximus. He's stuck with him. Patrick Mullins takes a run on Grange Clare West. Of course, he won last year on Nick Rocket, but Nick Rocket isn't running. Listen, Grange Clare West won the Bobby Joe, which has been seen, or is probably one of Ireland's premier trials for the Grand National. It was a really competitive race as well. Paul Towner won on him, of course. Jerry Colomb as well was in second, who is the horse underneath him in the weights, so let's tie them two in together. My issue with Grange Clare West is I'm not sure his jumping's good enough. Now, the Grand National is not the test it was even 10, 15 years ago, but I don't think his jumping's good enough, and we saw that last year, where I think he had a very good chance of winning last year, and he made that mistake, I think, at the last that really blew his chance, to be honest, and knocked all momentum out from him. Yeah, I just have big question marks about his jumping. He could place again, and again, another one who's been running really well this year, looks in prime shape. I've got to say, Willie Mullins' team in general looks fantastic. But Colomb is the next one up. Again, tied in with Grange Clare West. Has had a bit of a resurgence, Jerry Colomb, which has been nice to see because he is a bit of an old boy. And I think he's been underrated because he's been all over the grade ones for Gordon Elliott, and it's been tricky for him at times because he's often bumped into Galopin des Champs in his pomp. So it's been quite tricky for him. It'd be nice to see him get a big victory. He is an 11-year-old, and again, I think he'll get round, but I can see him maybe finishing 10th or 11th. I'm just not sure if there's enough left in the tank for him to win a Grand National. Heidi Couleur is up next. Now, he was my tip for the Gold Cup. I really like Heidi Couleur. I just wonder the whole Gold Cup thing where he looked to be going well and then faded and emptied so quickly. And Sean Bowen's feedback afterwards was very interesting as well when he talked to Matt Chapman about him. He's got a chance. I'd love him to win it because he's a horse that I really like. Of course, he won the Irish Grand National, he won the Welsh Grand National, he won the National Hunt Chase. He's won big race before. He will stay, no doubt about it. But the Cheltenham run for a horse that I like just has alarm bells ringing for me. My Fox is up next, and again, a good horse on his day. Potentially a grade 2 horse. Again, for me, the trip, will he stay 4 mile 2? That's my problem. Monty Star is next up. I like Monty Star, I do. Again, another one who's been campaigned in grade 1s by Henry de Bromhead, potentially in a handicap. He's not on the highest of weights. He may get round, he may finish 3rd or 4th. I could see him placing. He's just, for me, not my winner. A lot of these horses, with these lots of Firefox and Monty Star, it's nice to tie them in together. It's just been a while since they've got their head in front. That's my issue with these horses. They're coming from grade 1s where more often than not they're finishing 5th, 6th, 7th to the likes of Galopin Des Champs and well, it was Affordale Fury at Leopardstown. But I just struggle with these horses that it's a while that they've won. Now, next up is a spate of Mullins runners. Willie Mullins' team is so strong. Spanish Harlem is a horse that has won a big race already. He's won a version of a national over in Ireland. I'm just not sure he's got the class required to win a Grand National. The one I really like, well, the two I really like of Mullins, and I do think one of these may win it, is Lecky Watson or Champ Carley. Now, both were grade 1 novice winners. In my eyes, high-class horses. Really like Lecky Watson. I really do. He won the Brown Advisory last year around Cheltenham, which was essentially a Mullins benefit race, but that's not to worry. He hasn't necessarily put his best foot forward this year, but I do really like him, and I think he could be my Grand National winner. A little bit in the mould of a Grange Clare West from last year. I think Lecky Watson is winner, and Champ Carley as well. Both have been massively overlooked for me in terms of where they are. I think certainly Lecky Watson for me. I think he'll stay. I think he's got that bit of class that you sometimes need, especially with a modern race in a Grand National winner. I think Lecky Watson is my Grand National winner. That's the truth of the matter. And it wouldn't surprise me if Champ Carley was there or thereabouts as well. Irocco is up next. I think last year was his best chance. I think the jockey admits that he got it wrong. I think it was John Joe O'Neill Jr., wasn't it? I think he admits he got it wrong. He got caught too far back. He's obviously been campaigned with this race around in mind. Probably his Cheltenham had that a little bit in mind, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure he actually stays, to be honest. And I think that's partly his problem. Next up, Favre de Champs has been campaigned again with this race in mind. Has been obviously doing really well on the cross-country circuit. I thought he was going to guarantee to win the cross-country at Cheltenham. He didn't win it at the festival. However, these horses coming off the cross-country now, it does feel a little bit more like a cross-country race, to be honest with you, the Grand National. So again, it wouldn't surprise me if he is a big player in it. Three Count Bragg's had a go at this before. Again, I don't think he's going to win a Grand National. I think it's rare now horses come back after having their first attempt. It's rare horses come back and win it. And again, I'm not sure. I don't think he will be a big factor. Oscar's brother is another one I really, really like. Now, he's been campaigned quietly over in Ireland. He's won some decent novice chases. Of course, there's a fantastic story as well. The brothers and the brothers, a jockey and trainer. James McManus bought the horse but kept him in the King's care. Listen, he's got good form. He's pretty unexposed as well. Now, the one question for me is how he's going to handle the big field in the Grand National. How will he handle the hustle and bustle, being an inexperienced horse? But he is one that I think has a lot of each-way value. Of course, he won a nice grade 1, not grade 1, he won a nice grade 3 in Ireland last time, beating the Wall Park. Mr. Van Gogh, lovely story for the Bradstocks. I think needs a deluge, needs a monsoon for him to figure in it. High Class Hero, listen, again, another one of the Mullins they liked. Been in and around big handicaps before, was placed in the Bet365 Gold Cup. Has got a chance maybe to run on each way, but I think there's better animals in the race. Stellar Story, maybe. I could see that one. I could see it going well. I just prefer others, to be honest with you, on Stellar Story. Beauport, of course, those Corbière colours, those great Corbière colours. Again, it's been a long while since he got his head in front, and that's my big issue with Beauport. But it'd be a fantastic story for the owners if they could. Captain Cody, again, another one potentially being overlooked. A Scottish National winner last year. Harry Cobb's on board. Not the easiest of horses. Willie Mullins has said that before. Not the easiest to get a tune out of. But as definitely, I think, could be a factor. The Mullins squad is so strong with this. It's basically a pick what you like. But yeah, he could be a factor. Jaguar, of course, we saw run on really well at the Cheltenham Festival, finishing second to Johnny Who. I'm just not convinced Jaguar will stay the 4 mile 2, to be honest with you. Although he seems to be a horse who gets proven a distance, because he was at one point a 2.5 mile horse, but I'm just not sure he'll stay. Percival Laguerre, I backed last year and was gutted when he came down at Valentine's first time round. Harry Cobden's on board. He could be a big factor. He's been tailored towards this race. It's clear with his prep runs. Again, it's rare though horses come back, especially after falling and win. But Harry Cobden looking for a big win for his new boss over in Ireland. It could be a factor. I may put some money on each way. Gorgeous Tom, again, campaign with the race. Henry de Bromhead would be probably the first choice of the de Bromheads. His form is there or thereabouts. I think he was 4th last time out, 3rd last time out to O'Toole. I think there's classier animals in the race. The Real Whacker is a horse that I really like. He was a real favourite of mine. He's getting on now, the old boy, bless him. I think he's 100 to 1. A lot of people are going with him each way. Listen, there's a potential, I may for old time's sake put my money, a little bit of money on him each way, but I'm not sure the Real Whacker's my vote. It would be a great story. I think there'd be parties all night with Patrick Neville, but I just don't know if the Real Whacker, I think his best days are behind him. Coin de Bourbon, 3rd last year in the Irish National to Hanticuleur. Again, big campaign with this race in mind. My one issue is again, not had his head in front in a while. That's my big problem but again, could potentially place. Answer to Cave won the Troy Town. That has been a good trial for this race before. Loves the mud though, and that could be a problem again with ground. I'm not sure that if he'll get the ground, how he would like it. Now, Jordan's is a really interesting horse for me, the next one. Jordan's is a horse, he was 2nd last year in the Mild Bay last year. It hasn't been great this year. And it was a little bit disappointing, I feel, because I thought after the back end of last year, he could be a horse that figured in graded company. He certainly hasn't done that. But if he likes it round entry, maybe there's the potential for him to run well. I think he's a very interesting contender at an each way price. Final Orders is another one that I think is very interesting. Clearly loves cross-country. This is essentially becoming, I think, a bit of a cross-country race. I'd be interested to know what Gavin Cromwell thinks of his chances. I think potentially, like I say, Final Orders, it wouldn't shock me if he ran a really big race and was up there because, like you say, with this challenge now, it is essentially, I think, a cross-country race. That form could be quite strong going into it. Marble Sands, big outsider. Yeah, don't want to write it off as a no-hope, but would be a great story, but I can't see it for me. Panic Attack, a lot of people like Panic Attack. I can't make my mind up on her, to be honest. I was disappointed. I thought she'd run all over him at Cheltenham up in the Mare's Chase with Dino Blue and Spindleberry. She certainly didn't do that. I was very disappointed in my opinion. I'm just not sold on her as potentially being a Grand National winner. I think she maybe with her handicaps this year was just well handicapped. I mean, she's down at the weights again, but yeah, I'm not sure if she's a Grand National winner. But I get why people like her chances. Top of the bill again, tough to know. Just not sold on, to be honest with you, as a Grand National winner. Johnny Who is a very interesting runner. He won the Ultimate. That has been in recent years quite a good troggle. So everyone remembers Corrit Rambler winning that race and then coming on to the Grand National and winning. It'd be a great story for the O'Neills, for John Joe O'Neill to win this race because he won it before with Tone Push It. Johnny Who I think has got a good chance. It depends how hard a race he had at Cheltenham though, because it was a bit of a battle to the line with Richard McClelland on board when, of course, Jaguar was coming. If he's come out of that race well, though, then there is, I think, the potential for him to run well. Twig, the old boy, would be another great story. Just think potentially getting on, although he does love it round entry, so probably will get round. You'll probably be, if you backed him, you'll probably get value for your money. Imperial Saint was an improver, 2nd at this meeting last year in the freebooter to Cruise Control, a narrow 2nd. Off a low weight, has got, again, it depends how ridden, but maybe a factor, may get round. And Am I Right down the bottom as well, has been in and around these big handicaps before, but a long time again since they got his head in front. Overall, I think my order is as follows. I think Lecky Watson will win the Grand National. I think Final Orders will come 2nd. I think Champ Kylie will come 3rd. And I think 4th, maybe Oscar's Brothers, and 5th will be Jordan's. That's my thing. 6th, I'll go the Real Whacker, and then the rest can sort themselves out. That's my final prediction, though. Let us know yours in the comments. I may be completely wrong. Like I said, I don't claim to be a tipster. I just like talking about sport. And as always, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day.